Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. A lot has changed. I just came back from a 2-week, 5,000 kilometer vacation in the Model Y. Video coming about that soon. A lot of changes have gone on. I've got a new Tesla video coming for that soon too. But anyways, you clicked on this because you saw the title. This is the Hansshow Yoke install and review video. Now, I know, wait, before you stop and click off it, there's been a ton of different installs out there on the internet, on YouTube particularly, because I scoured them all. And you know what? None of them were, in my opinion, as good as they were. None of them were precise. Let's face it, I said it before in the other Hansshow videos and reviews and stuff. Hansshow doesn't give you the best instructions. Actually, in this case, it didn't come with any written instructions, which probably is a better thing. And their videos, their Chinese videos, even when they're translated, they're not the best. They're not the best. So that's why they rely on people like us to promote their product and also give videos and instructions on how to do it properly. Problem with what I found is I couldn't find anything for a new. This is a new Tesla Model Y 2022. So the steering wheel, from what I've seen, looks a little bit different than some of the other videos I saw for any ones that were 2020, 2019, 2018. Even the 2021, it looked a little different. So this is going to have a different disconnect because you got to disconnect the power under the frunk before you do anything. So let me go through, tell you exactly how to go about doing it. Maybe a little in depth, maybe a little long. I'll put little markers down in little chapters down so you can see what we're doing, and you can just skip forward to that particular part if you're wondering about that particular part. You don't need to know the whole instruction from beginning to end. Let's start right now. First things first, we got to turn off the power on this car before we do anything else. I know a lot of people try to skip this part and don't take a chance with the airbag. Don't take a chance. It's very important to do this. So before we turn everything off, we should keep this door open, undo the window because you're going to need the window undone, and then you're going to need to open the frunk, obviously. Open the frunk because that's where all the battery is that we need to undo. And then we turn it off. Go to safety, power off, click power off. Now, sorry for the wind in the background. It's 34 degrees outside. I picked a great day to do this install, didn't I? Okay. Now, don't come back and sit down back in the car until you turn everything off or manually unplug everything. And I'll show you how to do that, because if you sit back down in the seat before you do that, the car will turn back on. So don't do that. So once you get out, keep the door open, keep the window open. Okay, so we're at the front of it. Pardon all the bugs and grime. Like I said, 5,000 kilometer road trip, it'll do that to you. So we got to take this cowling off. This is pretty self-explanatory. You just grab it here and you pull up. Everything just comes off. There's just little fasteners. Once that's off, put it aside. Okay, once that's off, like I said, this is a 2022, so this has the bioweapon defense mode filter, so it's all behind here. And as you can see, the symbol here says the battery is behind here, and it's the lithium battery. If you peel this rubber back, you can see it. You can't get to it to turn it off from here, so you sort of have to lift this up. Okay, so to lift this out, there is 2 bolts. One down here on the right hand side, it's a 10 mil, and then over here on the left hand side, it's another one, almost mirror image to it, is also a 10 mil. So what I suggest you do once you take these bolts out is leave it in your frunk. Frunk's a good spot to contain everything. It's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to lose anything. You don't want to lose any screws. Okay, hopefully that's a good vantage point for you folks so you can see everything here. So what you basically have to do now that these 2 bolts are out is you need to get in behind there. Now all you have to do is lift this up. As you can see, you take the bolts out. It lifts up fairly easy, so you only need it to lift up so you don't have to take this completely out. Just lift up so you can get in there. And because I am short and my arms are short, don't laugh at me. What I'm going to do is actually step in here. This is the frunk. It can take your weight. Don't worry about it. Well, it should be able to take most people's weight. And what you want to do is you want to get to the battery, which is down here. Let me show you. Let me move this. So that is the battery down there, the new lithium batteries for all 3s and Ys, and actually S's and X's too. See, there's a little green tab there. You want to pull up, use your 2 fingers, your thumb and your index finger, pull up this plastic tab. It comes up about maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and then this whole black sleeve here, it slides to the right. See how it slides? It won't slide unless you lift up that green tab. Once you do that, once it's slid to the right, then this whole unit here can pop up. There you go. See, it pops up. Now your 12 volt is disconnected. Just leave that away. Make sure it doesn't get connected again. And now we have to disconnect the main battery. Now to do a main battery on a 2022 car, it's right over here on the left hand side. This is the left hand side of the car. When I say left hand side, I mean if you're staring at the car like head on from the outside, this is the left. So basically the passenger side. You'll see this red wiring. I don't know if it'll be red for yours, and the black tubing. This little red thing down here, this is a little tricky. What you have to do with this, and I'll zoom in on it for you guys. Okay, hopefully you can see it better here. So this is the tab I was telling you about. Use your thumb or your fingernail to pull that out, and then once that's out, you press down on this black part right here. See how I can push out on my fingernail, and it pushes down, it presses in. So you press that in, and then the whole thing slides out. Once that's out, that means the main battery pack is now disconnected. Just put that aside so it doesn't get in the way. Not that it can. And then that's it. The main battery pack and the 12 volt are all disconnected. There is no power going to the car anymore. Okay, my camera died, so I got to use my phone. So once you get in the car, you look for, there's two holes. There's one hole here, and then there's another hole on the other side of the steering wheel, right, I don't know if you can see it, right there. So what you have to do is get a thin little, I'm using a little Allen key, I guess. Find whatever is thin that's got strong strength to it, and it won't come out, or it won't bend. And what you have to do is you have to insert this into the hole right there and keep it to the front. When I say keep it to the front, like angle it to the front. When I say the front, I mean this way towards the front bumper of the car, or keep it level straight. And there's metal, when you push it in, you push it in, like I'll show you. There's where it starts. You push in what, maybe an inch and a half, and then you'll feel some resistance. When you push on that resistance, there's a little rod, a metal rod, like a spring that you're pushing against. Okay, I have to put you down because I need both hands. So you need two of these, and you need to do it simultaneously. So you put the first one in, get it ready, and put the second one in, get it also ready. Get it to the point where you can feel it stop right where the spring is. And then at the same time, simultaneously, you push in, and then look at the center airbag as you do it. You'll see the airbag pop out. Well, not the airbag itself, but the module for the airbag. Okay, you see how it popped there? The airbag just popped out, and then as you take it out, be careful because it's still connected. There's a wire there you need to disconnect first. This is for the airbag itself, the power. So what you need there is a needle nose pliers. Okay, so from here, you need to get the needle nose pliers, like I said, and you have to get in between on both. You have to get on the outside of these clips with the needle nose pliers, press them down, and the whole yellow connector should just come right out, slides right out, just like that. So that's what you need, the needle nose pliers. Very important, because as you can see, the clips are on either end, and they have to be depressed or squeezed together simultaneously. So once that's out, put the airbag aside because you're going to need it later. Unless you want to go out and buy a brand new airbag yourself, you're going to need it later. So here's the steering wheel. Now what you need next is this 10mm hex bit. This 10mm hex bit is what goes in here, the center part of the wheel. And then you need a lot of leverage, so you need a big bar. So let me go get my big bar. Okay, so I'm back with my big bar. I know it sounds really rude, but it is. You need something long so you have a lot of leverage, because this is really, should be on there really, really tight. And I've got another extension. If you got another extension, put that on too. You put it on, and now you just have to. Now be careful with your screen. I know my screen's dirty. I apologize how dirty with all the fingerprints there has on it. 5,000 kilometers. We lived in this car for probably a week with traveling and everything, so on the road. So don't judge me. So with one hand, you have to hold on to the bar. Let me see if I can angle this down for you a little bit better. Okay, so hold the wheel, and this one goes counterclockwise to loosen it. So okay, this was a little tough, but I think we finally got it, and it is on tight. It really is. So get it off as best as you can. Needs a lot of leverage, I'll tell you that right now. And then just unscrew it. And of course, it goes without saying, don't be a dummy. Don't throw this out. You actually need this. So hold on to this. You need the needle nose pliers again, because you got to take this connector off too. Same way as you did with the yellow one. Okay, once you have it out, now you can take the steering wheel out, and it comes out, just rock it a little bit, and it comes right out right in your hand. There's no wrong way to put this in or take it out, because after you go to put it back in, you can see that there are teeth. There's a little indentation groove right in here, and of course these have to line up too. So this is your steering wheel. Let's go in the house where it's a lot cooler, and we'll show you what you have to do with this stuff to put it into the yoke. Okay, so we've got the wheels here. That's the original wheel, and that's the yoke. And as you can tell, see inside there, it's got all the wiring and some cabling. I'm not sure, plastic cabling. It's like 3 triangular things. And then, yeah, that all has to come out and go into the Hansshow Yoke, because this has nothing. And so this has to be transplanted into here. I've seen some people get stuff that from Hansshow with it already in, so it's hit or miss, folks. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. So in order to do that, there's 4 screws. I've already taken the screws out. There's 4 screws, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like there's 4 screws on this one too. I'll put a picture up and you can see the 4 screws. I've taken them out on this one already. You need to take them out, and then what you do is you use 2 hands and you just slowly pry this up. They come out. It's like a pressure fit. As long as you have those 4 screws out, these will come out. Like I said, it's a pressure fit. You won't break anything. Just be easy and gentle, and it'll all lift up. And once it comes out, this whole thing, now you put this aside, the wheel, the yoke itself, this whole carbon fiber piece now is here. Now, what you can do, I got carbon fiber. It came with the buttons and everything, as you can see. So you could transplant all the wiring into here, or you could just take this, the original stock one, and put it into here. So when you have the steering wheel itself, turn it upside down. And as you can see, they've got these 3 holes here that contain those plastic O-rings attached to some kind of bracket of some sort. They all come out with clips, and I'll show you a picture of it, all 3 of them. All you have to do is get a needle nose pliers and gently squeeze them together so that they pop down and out. And that's 1, 2, like I said, just be gentle. They're plastic, so this bottom one is reversed. So yeah, there you go. You just get them, turn it back around, and this whole plastic thing should just lift up now. Yeah, it lifts up and out. So now it's easier to get to these screws, these 4 screws. They're Torx bit. As you can see, it's a Torx bit. You just take the 4 screws out. It's the same 4 screws that come on the yoke over there. And now the same thing applies to this. This, just use your hands and gently pry it open, pry it up and away from the wheel, and it just all should come out gently. And then once you get it out, be careful, because there's one more wire right down here that's attached. So what I would do is turn the wheel upside down, or I guess you can leave it like that. Turn the plastic upside down, and then you see these 4 screws right here, the silver screws, and they're also Torx bits, but they're a smaller Torx bit. I'm not sure what the size is. You'll have to play around with it, but I've got the right one. So you have to take these 4 out if you're going to transplant it. These bottom ones here, we'll start with these ones. You know what, take all 4 of them out. Now what this wiring is that's still attached is the steering wheel heater. This car itself is a June 2022 build. So this is one of the newest ones you're going to see. So when you get that last screw out, and it's not wanting to come out, it doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, there's all four. This whole thing will come out, and when this comes out, you can just put it aside. This plate now, this plate just pops up. Now that you've taken those four screws out on the outside, that's what these holes are for. It held the plate in. And now this is where the wire goes into, this harness. This wire harness just flips up and out. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. There you go. And once it comes out like that, then you can just unplug it from the blue part, and that now detaches fully your stock steering wheel. And now we have this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. Once again, if you want the carbon fiber, then what you're going to have to do is, here, I'll show you, is you'll have to press in here and pull this out for the scroll wheel. Press this one in here and pull this one out also. And then this whole harness now comes out, and you can transplant it into here if you like. I'm going to keep it in here for now because I don't need the carbon fiber right now, and I just want to make it simple for you folks. So what you're going to have to do now is get the yoke, turn it upside down. Actually, turn the yoke upside down. Let's do it this way. Get this wiring. It's going to go in the same way as before, but you're going to have to plug it in first. It only plugs in one way, so you can't mess that up. As I'm surely demonstrating how easy it is to mess this up. So plug it in, then it goes into this harness right in there, and then the wires get tucked away neatly in there and out of the way. Then you can turn this upside down. Oh, you got to put this cap back on first. This cap, it goes on in a really weird way. So basically push the bottom in first and push it down, then turn it upside down, and then there's a tab right here. This goes under that clip that you just put in, and then put these four screws back in, these silver torque screws. Okay, so now you have that. Turn the yoke back upside down, and pardon the wind. Now this goes into the yoke. Now before you put this in, the best thing to do is try to, this spring-loaded triangular pyramid shaped funky thing is good to get in the way. Just try to make sure the wires aren't being pinched. Keep your wires managed well while you put this in. Now what I would do is put the bottom piece in first, and basically it goes in the exact same way it came out, just in, obviously, in reverse. But you got to get these clips out of the way because they will want to get in the way. So that pushes down there, that pushes down there, the front or the top part pushes down there, and then the bottom piece here pushes down snugly. And you can check on the sides and you can see how much you have to push in. Okay, so while you have this out of the way, I would suggest you put these screws back in, and then put the plastic part back down, because once you put the plastic, the three triangular looking weird shape thing, once you put that down, they get in the way of these screw holes. So I would put the screws in first. Okay, the 4 of those screws are in. Now we can worry about, once again, this is a good opportunity to take time and make sure that none of the wiring is being pinched or anything like that. And then put these plastic tabs back in. Now remember, they are just plastic, so you might want to be very careful how much pressure you put on them, because you don't want them snapping. Just take your time. They will go in, and when they go in, you'll hear them snap in. They'll click. Okay, folks, note, when you're putting this back in, and I had to do it twice and edit this video here, when you're putting this back in, see the black wire loom there? Make sure that that is behind this plastic triangular housing. I found out that this plastic housing is spring-loaded, and more than likely it's probably for the horn somehow. When you press the airbag and the horn part, it's probably for the horn. So make sure that this wiring harness is behind this plastic here. If it isn't, then the airbag isn't going to sit flat. And when you see in the video, at the end of the video, that it's not sitting flat, just know that I've taken it out and I've put it back in, and I've kept the original video in there. Okay, we're back in the car in the blistering heat. Trust me, it is hot. We've got it all put together here, as you can see. All you do now is put everything back in, just like in reverse. Now, like I said, this only goes in one way, and you don't have to force it too much. And then clip these back in here. Remember I said to keep that nut because you don't want to lose it? Well, I almost lost it. Almost forgot to put it back in. Screw this sucker back on. Now, I looked all over the internet to look for torque specifications for this, and I couldn't find anything. So it's not like a wheel where you need to actually have it torqued to a certain amount, I would think. You just make sure it's tight. I think you'd be fine if you get away, if you just make sure that it's really tight. So get out of the car for this, put it down, hold it, and tighten it as tight as you can go. I actually should use the socket for this. Hold on, before I use this cheater bar. Okay, and then I'll use that at the end to tighten it down. Okay, now I can use this. Okay, that's fairly tight. I don't think we need to go any tighter than that. Now, the airbag piece. The airbag's all hot because it's been sitting in the sun there for the last little bit. Believe it or not, this has been taking a little bit of time. Hasn't been as quick as this video as you're watching it. Okay, so that's in. That's in, making sure everything is in, because I don't want to have to do this again, and I'm sure you don't want to have to do this again. What I suggest you do, and I should have said at the beginning, is once you take this airbag off, take a photo with your phone of what you see. That way, when you're reproducing it and transplanting it into here, you have a reference of what to expect or what to make it look like. And then for this, you don't need these little Allen keys to put this back in. All it does is snap in. And like I said, this is the existing airbag. It's just snap in here. 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. And you hear it? Click, click. And it clicked in. Push down on it. Okay, so the next thing to do is put the wiring back, the power back to the car. And that's the same way, just in reverse of what I showed you. And pray that everything works. Okay, everything's turned back on. This is the moment of truth to make sure everything is working. Honk the horn first of all. Horn works. Yeah, so everything seems to work just fine. The only thing I want to do now is go for a drive and test this sucker out. If you enjoyed this video and you thought it was very thorough and very useful, or useful and maybe too thorough, or just useful, give me a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. This is what we bring on this channel. We bring to you like tips and tricks and installs and reviews and product stuff like that. This is it. This is the Hansshow Yoke, and right now I can say I like it, but let me play around with it for a few days and see. Let me see what my wife thinks of this. That's the key.